questions on Judaism.
Let me respond.
All right. No problem. I was just trying to touch on the lighter notes. Everything that's going on here, I love it. I was just trying to say, someone said that Rambam wasn't a Makubal, and I wanted to show you, based according at least to the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov said, and I tried to show you in his own book, Yud Kei Vav Kei is the beginning of Sefer Yad, because that's how a Makubal starts his book. And that's how Baal Shem Tov understands that the Rambam was a Makubal. That's all.
Okay, no problem. I never said the Rambam wasn't a Makubal. Makubal comes from the term Kabbalah, which wasn't used till post the Arizal. Now, being mystically inclined, for sure, the Rambam was mystically inclined. He did believe in angels to a certain extent. He didn't believe in demons, but he believed in the metaphysical. Just that term wasn't used. To be a Makubal means that you're someone who was in line of transmission of knowledge, because Kabbalah just means transmission. But later on, after the Rambam, it came to mean transmission of mystical, metaphysical knowledge. I may say that he's not a Makubal because he wasn't a Lurianic Kabbalist, but he was
definitely not. He was 100. How many years? 1500 to 990.
Baal Shem Tov said that someone was a reincarnation of the Rambam to do a tikkun because the Rambam didn't believe in Shadim and all these mystical concepts. But anyways,
I would love for you to send me that, please, because I've never seen that, and I've done a lot of research.
Not that it would make it any more authoritative if anyone claimed to be a reincarnation of anyone else. All right,
it would blow my mind.
The tradition among mystics is that it was given to Adam Arishon in a scroll, and that contained many of the commandments.
Right. No, there's a whole bunch of good stuff there, but obviously that's not what you're talking about. Correct? It's not considered. Here, let me say this. What you said was 100% correct. If it's not sourced in the first 5 books of Moses, it disagrees with the first 5 books of Moses, then it's not Torah.
Okay, fine.
It has to be, and therefore, that's why the Gemara argues about Yecheskel, because the way that he talks about the third base of Mikdash, it doesn't line up with the way that the halacha says. So they almost didn't allow it, like you said. And Shir Shirim, it didn't come.
Wait.
Yeah, take it.
The South of Sefer Yeheskel, it never says it's talking about the third temple. I mean, it's really talking about the second temple. As long as people are able to make a distinction between what a Jew must believe and what's fluff, then it's fine. But it's hard for me to believe that a Jew would want to accept any metaphysical idea knowing that it's just opinion.
I think a lot of people want to feel good because the world is kind of garbage.
Right.
And, if you can find a way to connect to Hashem and feel good about it, I wouldn't blame anyone, even if it's metaphysical or whatever it is. Obviously,
but I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that it's not common. The average person who hears a rabbi teach anything from any Kabbalistic text stays and he listens because he thinks that it's absolute emes. There's no lying in it. They don't want to know that it's a 50-50 chance of being nonsense.
I don't think that it's not. Here's the difference: is that it's 100% truth, 100% truth. All the midrash is 100% emes, but is it literal?
How can it be 100%
literal,
emes?
But it's 100% emes. It's Torah.
So how can it be 100% emes if they contradict each other?
Because it's not literal.
So then it doesn't enter the realm of emes. Okay, next question. But thank you, Moshe. Thank you for your insights.
Okay, so does anyone have actual legitimate questions for why would anything pertaining to Judaism?
Yes, I was just wondering about tattoos, and I have one, and I'm just wondering if that would affect any prospects or something.
No, luckily it doesn't matter. However, it may offend people, and not just in Judaism, but in life is not what you know, is who you know. So if you get the wrong people upset, they're clearly not going to want you in their community. But it's typically not an issue. I remember when I was living in Denver, there was this guy who basically got kicked out of the conversion program there. He used to come to my house for Shabbos. He was a little person in terms of height. He was black as well. I mean, he was so devout. He was so serious. I mean, I was curious why they did this. And then someone overheard the rabbi who did it say that he doesn't look like he fits in the community. And I'll tell you who the rabbi is. His name is Rabbi Levitt, and he's in charge of the conversion program there. And then, of course, I called the head of the community, and I got him back in the program, and then he chastised the guy. So it shows that if you piss off the wrong people, then you won't be able to convert. This is why, according to Halakha, nobody converts you. You convert yourself. All they're doing is witnessing your conversion, but that's not how it's taught nowadays. They'll ask you, who converted you? Like, convert who? According to Halakha, you don't even need a rabbi. It could be like the Rambam says, Gimel Hediotot. 3 laymen could perform a conversion, because all you're doing is witnessing a beit din, what doesn't mean that they're actually judging anything. When you have 3 Jews together witnessing something, those 3 are called a beit din, but that doesn't mean that there is an actual judging going on. There's no actual din being given. This is why there's a machloket in the Talmud itself if someone could convert themselves, amongst the nations. So Rabbi Kiva said that there was someone who converted himself amongst the Gentiles, and then it says that that person would even be liable for breaking Shabbat, teaching us that the notion of having people witnessing your tevilah is not really set in stone. But no, tattoos don't prohibit you from converting. They shouldn't.
Andrea, you like to speak? You said in the side chat you have tattoos, and you seem to be able to convert okay.
Yeah, I converted Orthodox, and I live in an ultra-Orthodox community. The only thing is, I would suggest covering your tattoos. My tattoos are on my legs and stomach, and I wear leggings and black. 90 denier is the key if you have tattoos on your legs with the stockings. I cover my tattoos at all times. It's tough for dating. If you're not married, the Jewish guys, the Orthodox guys will not date you if you have tattoos. They got this thing about tattoos. But besides that, I don't have any issues. You know, as long as people don't see them, they don't make a big hoopla. I remember once I walked into a hosiery store and I was asking about the stockings, and the Orthodox women were all like, "Oh, let me see your tattoos." They were like, you know, it was all like a little like fetish for them because they didn't have tattoos themselves, you know?
Yeah, the Bachuvas will date you.
You know, but like for the most part, it's not a big deal unless you have them like on your face or like somewhere where people, because you're wearing long sleeves and you're wearing long tights, or black tights, so nobody really sees them, you know?
That's a good point. That's actually a really good question, and that was actually a really good answer. That actually pertains to the show. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Hope. But what did do your best, and I think we talked about this last week. We were talking about getting tattoos removed, and it was pretty much just leave it. Getting it removed is pretty much the same as getting a tattoo, right? So right. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, type of thing.
Now, I'll be honest. I have tattoos. Army guy, former street guy. There's no way to get out of the situation without tattoos. But yeah, I mean, the rabbis didn't care.
If someone understands, I mean, you're coming from a previous lifestyle, right? I mean, that's the whole point of converting. You're going from where you were previously to a new life. So it makes sense that you would have a tattoo, right? If that's the lifestyle. So I don't see why it would be a big deal.
And there's many Balshubas who have tattoos. So Jews are used to it. It's not shocking unless, I don't know how many Balshubas places like Borough Park and Williamsburg get, but if most major cities in America, there's a big influx of people coming back to Judaism, and many of them are tattooed. So it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, our rabbi, he was telling a story today about someone he was going through conversion, and he had a very big tattoo on his arm. But the problem was, it wasn't as much that he had a tattoo, but it was a big cross on his arm. So he had to pay a lot of money he thought for social reasons, that he would stay with the damn if you do.
Right. Yeah, I guess. I don't think it's usher for them to look at the cross. I don't know. Maybe if you have a tattoo of some lady on a pole on your arm, maybe you want to cover that up. You don't want to pass the gefilte fish with some yeshiva bacher next to you and say, "Mommy, what's that?" Anyways,
guys, I actually have a cross on me, but I cover it. But like crosses, the rabbis aren't going to not convert you because you have a cross. I mean, I'm not going to tell you need to burn it off. Unless they're like a totally, completely unreasonable rabbi.
You could like tattoo Moses on top of the cross.
Huh?
You could tattoo Moses hanging from the cross. Say, look, or put a kippah on Jesus and say, it's Jewish. All right, fine.
This is a little humor.
Reasonable rabbis. You can't deal with like that jobs.
Right.
And I have really legit conversions, and like it wasn't an issue, you know.
I think I broke it down last time. The actual laws behind tattoos. It's not necessarily a Torah prohibition, unless, according to the actual halakha, is to like get a tattoo of the Shem Hashem, the name of God, or the name of some idol. That's a prohibition. That's what it says in the Torah. It says, "Don't tattoo yourself for the dead," which was a form of avodah zarah for some deity. It also says, almost similar to what the Shiites do, that they cut themselves for Ali. The halakha extends it, at least as it comes down in the Rambam, that any type of ink entering your skin for any reason is against the halakha, but from a rabbinic perspective, not from a Torah perspective. So if you got a tattoo, I mean, just know that you're violating a rabbinic command, not a Torah command. That matters. Not that we're out to break rabbinic commands in any way, but if someone breaks a rabbinic command, especially accidentally, like, you don't have to do tshuva for it. Tshuva in the sense of like mechila, like oh, you know, forgive me, God, this and that. Just try to do better next time. While if you've been breaking Torah your whole life, you should make amends with God, especially, you know, for breaking His law. But there's a distinction between man's law and God's law. Man's law has to be kept for consensus, right? But the basis has always been Torah Shebiktav versus Torah Shebal Peh. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sure I did a double whammy. I have the cross, and then I have my dead mom on me too.
Oh,
So
boy.
I have the cross and the dead person.
I think it has to be a deity. I guess if you liked your mom a lot, then maybe. All right, next. Come on, guys.
All right. Jacob asked on the outside chat. He's shopping for Rambam Mishnah Torah, and he's finding two sets. One has a 28 volume, and one has an 18 volume. Please ask Rebbe what's the difference, please.
The Mishnah Torah has 14 volumes. Maybe volumes in terms of like when you buy them individually, it depends, because sometimes two. For example, a Hilchos Shabbos, I think, is in two separate volumes. But there's only one English translation that is still being sold, which is it's the Chabad version. It's the brown one. But it's online in English, free. I mean, you could download it and print it out. Apart from that, if you're looking for a good Hebrew version of it, I would encourage it's a Yemenite version. I can't remember what it's called. It's the one that was edited by Rav Kapach. So that is the most authentic version of Mishneh Torah, which is online also for free. That's the version that you find on Mechon Mamre versus the Vilna edition, I think even the Frankel edition, which have more errors. That's the one that appears in Chabad, the one with errors. Although in the Chabad version online, in the footnotes, they fix a lot of the errors. Like they'll mention it, that in the older like manuscripts that statement doesn't appear, or it appears differently. But it's all in one volume, the Yemenite one.
Very good.
But,
Thank
yeah.
you.